In 2016, WWE began promoting WWE 2K17 with the legend Goldberg on an episode of Monday Night Raw, and we even saw him before that in commercials, similar to how we saw The Ultimate Warrior promoting WWE 2K14 and Sting promoting WWE 2K15. Goldberg was his big pre-order bonus, and he appeared on Monday Night Raw for what we thought was to promote the game, which that ended up leading into a match with Brock Lesnar, the cover athlete of WWE 2K17. At Survivor Series 2016, the match took place. The match was crazy. Goldberg beat Brock Lesnar in like 16 seconds in what we all thought was like a promotion match for WWE 2K17. This match in turn led to Goldberg making a few appearances for the WWE, even going on to have a main event match at WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 33. So I guess in part, WWE 2K17 is to blame for Goldberg's return, and now he's like the Grim Reaper of wrestling. He's here to take Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns' soul in 2021 as the part-time Grim Reaper. Maybe that is why WWE 2K17 gets so much hate, just due to the association with Goldberg. I don't know. I've been playing WWE 2K17 recently, and in my opinion, it is sneaky underrated and low-key under the radar, one of the best wrestling games ever made. And you could make the point that this is the best WWE 2K game ever made. Now, I'm not saying that WWE 2K17 belongs on the level of Here Comes the Pain or Shut Your Mouth or SmackDown vs. Raw 06 or 07. No, I'm not saying that at all. I just think that WWE 2K17 is a quality game that really does fly under the radar, and nobody talks about it enough. I couldn't really find anything on the internet of people talking about it except for this one Forbes review that praised it and this one Reddit post that praised it. It's just, the community was just seemingly dead. But I've been playing it recently. I've played through some of the My Career. The My Career is what it is. It's basically a single-player WWE Universe mode. There's very few storyline implications unless you join the Authority. So with the My Career mode, you start out as an NXT trainee. You end up fighting Samoa Joe, and then you face Enzo Amore in a promo class battle. And I think that's actually pretty cool. The promo battle was cool. The promo system is one of the high points of this game. So you face Enzo. If you lose against Enzo, you start the game as a tag team wrestler. If you beat him, you wind up as a singles star going after the United States Championship or the NXT Championship, depending on if you beat Samoa Joe. If you lose to Samoa Joe, you wind up in NXT. So from there, you're off. And it has like almost like an open world element to it, not in the sense of like some of the old SmackDown vs. Raw games, but you could really control your destiny. You could become a Paul Heyman guy. Like I said, you can join the Authority, or you could become a full-on babyface. There's basically 4 paths you could take: hardcore, heel, babyface, and I guess kind of a tweener, depending on how you respond in promos and how you wrestle your matches. If you wrestle your matches like a heel, but you cut promos like a babyface, you'll fall somewhere in the middle. If you go full on heel, you could wind up with Paul Heyman as a Paul Heyman guy, and then you have Brock Lesnar, and you guys are like this super team, this like 2-man power trip. I personally found the My Career mode to be fun. I'd rather have a My Career mode like this versus whatever we get in 2K18 and 19 and 20 with these just cringe storyline arcs that once they're over lead to nothing, with really bad cutscenes. I'd rather have the involvement of Paul Heyman and the Authority in like this set direction. I thought it felt very good, felt very genuine. The amount of creations and customizations you can do with your My Player is just ludicrous. You earn VC basically for everything that you do in the game, so you can always use those customizations to get attire for your player. You could change the way he looks. You could change face paint. You could customize his entrance, his moveset. There's seemingly endless options for customization. If you've got nothing but time on your hands, and say you bought WWE 2K17 and never really touched it based on the reviews or lack thereof of any kind of content on the game, check it out. Try the My Career mode. You might like it. Moving on. Aesthetically, this game is probably the most aesthetically pleasing of all the WWE 2K games. The menu is just legendary, where you have wrestlers like Sasha Banks just walk up on the screen, Becky Lynch, like while you're on the main menu, and then the soundtrack on top of that. Honestly, probably the best soundtrack in any WWE 2K game. 2K19, probably a close second, but no other game in the WWE 2K series really compares. Now, this is not a GOAT legendary soundtrack like SVR07, but it still has some bangers. P. Diddy produced it. One of my favorite songs, Lockjaw by Kodak Black and French Montana, is on there. It's just, it really gets you pumped for the game. Soundtrack can be a little bit repetitive. For whatever reason, they tend to only play like 4 songs, but it can get repetitive at times. And graphically, I feel like this was the peak of WWE 2K games from a graphics perspective. The wrestlers, in my opinion, they just look the best that they've looked in the whole WWE 2K series. You have 18 was like an instant downgrade from this game. The graphics in 18, they were okay, but then in 19 they were better. Than 20, I don't even know what it was. It's amazing that like the technology in 2016 was somehow better than the technology in 2K20. Like, you would think after all the good things 2K19 did, 2K20 would have been able to just capitalize on that, just tweak the graphics and improve them a little bit. But no, it was 2K17 that winds up with the best graphics, in my opinion, in the WWE 2K series. You can really see the pain on these guys' faces, just the entrances, they look perfect, the mannerisms, the motion detection, everything there is A1 from the aesthetic standpoint. Now let's talk about the gameplay. The gameplay, honestly, it might be the best in the WWE 2K series. It's between this and 2K19 again. Part of me wants to give 2K17 the edge after spending more time playing with it. The matches are very fun. They flow pretty well. I was playing recently a Money in the Bank ladder match, a 6-man Money in the Bank ladder match, and it felt like those SmackDown versus Raw days where the matches would go on forever, and there was like this pain system, this pain algorithm. You could attack different guys. You could do cool moves, cool spots off the ladder. Like, I got sunset power bombed. Ziggler hit me with like a neck breaker off the ladder. It was pretty cool and pretty good, fun spots. Playing this game for a while, playing some random matches, left me thinking, wow, this game is genuinely fun. And I really can't remember the last time I thought that in a wrestling game. Probably WWE 2K14 with Defeat the Streak and the 30 Years of WrestleMania mode. Other than that, I really haven't been that blown away and that amazed by the gameplay. There are some things missing. For instance, you can't have a tag team TLC match, and I can't play a 6-man TLC match, but I could play like a 6-man Hell in a Cell. It just doesn't make sense. How could you not have a TLC match? Like, I wanted to relive the Hardys and Edge and Christian on a TLC match, but I couldn't do that. And it's just amazing how they couldn't work that into the game, but we've seen that in plenty of other wrestling games before. So while not perfect, WWE 2K17 offers a lot of fun just within the gameplay and the mechanics. It doesn't have a showcase mode either. That's another thing that people were complaining about. But let's be honest, how fun is showcase mode? Like, in 2K16, the Stone Cold Steve Austin mode, how much fun can you really have just replaying through Stone Cold's matches? And they tried their best incorporating cutscenes and the real life moves that took place in the match in the game mode. But for me, showcase mode is missable. I didn't really care for the Daniel Bryan showcase mode or the 4 Horsewomen showcase mode. I want like a season mode, an original story based on a couple of wrestlers. Like, why can't we get an AJ Styles and say a Seth Rollins season mode where you pick AJ Styles, you play through a path, his road to WrestleMania or his road to SummerSlam or his road to redemption, like something creative and something fun for us to do aside from just matches and universe mode. Because that's basically what my career was. So if you're not really a universe mode person, probably won't enjoy this game. There's only so much fun you can get out of just playing random matches all day long. But if you are one of those people that is into creating your characters and creating different people, like creating comic book characters or creating movie stars, like creating Batman or something, if you're into that and you want to have Batman versus Stone Cold in a Hell in a Cell match, this game will be very fun for you. You will get a ton of joy out of it. But like, if you're like me and you like to have more story mode, more online play, then yeah, this game is probably not for you. The online mode, it was what it was. I read some horror stories about people not being able to connect to an online game from the day they bought the game all the way up until 2K18 came out. They could not find a game online, just rip. That sucks, dude. Granted, not everybody had a horrible experience like that, so I can't judge this game based on a couple of bad reviews that I read on Reddit. So I'll close with this. WWE 2K17 and the WWE 2K franchise as a whole, while not perfect, and it's definitely responsible for the worst wrestling video game of all time, WWE 2K17 stands out as a pretty fun and enjoyable game. And unfortunately, I think it goes so far under the radar because people are just fed up with WWE 2K15 and 16. Legitimately, 2K15 was such a major step back from WWE 2K14, and then WWE 2K16 was basically a copy and paste of 2K15 with just a better showcase mode and some minor improvements. So I understand people's frustrations and people not willing to give WWE 2K17 a shot. But in my opinion, while yes, this game will not stand with SmackDown vs. Raw, No Mercy, this game still is very playable for the current gen consoles. So for the current gen PS4, Xbox One console lifetime, this is probably as close as we're going to get along with WWE 2K19 as a classic wrestling video game. Hopefully with the next gen, WWE and 2K can figure it out. That has been the video, guys. I will talk to you on the next one. I hope you all have a great day. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, leave a like on the video. That helps me out a lot. Thank you all so much again for watching.